So moving to who we are, what we are. We are fifth IR, which stands for Fifth Industrial Revolution. We have over 100,000. Now over to Prasham Sabadra.
Yep, thank you. I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, proceed. You can proceed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, welcome to all and have a good morning, good evening. And thank you for joining this session over the weekend on this time. So it's really appreciated. So today we are going to discuss the most important feature, most important topic, cybersecurity. Why it's most important, what is the cybersecurity, why it's most important, where to start journey if I want to be a part of cybersecurity journey. So where should I start? And all those things details we are going to discuss in this session. What few steps personally and my organization wise I need to consider, I need to take into the consideration. So that we are going to also discuss in this session. Before starting our journey, Gavaskar has already given the details about me, but let me explain myself. I'm working as an architect at Apexon Private Limited. I'm working from the Pune. So I'm basically a SharePoint guy. Since the first version of SharePoint, I'm working on the SharePoint, starting with the SharePoint 2003, WSS 3.0, SharePoint MOS 2007, then the SharePoint 2013, 2010, 2016, and then since last few years, I'm working on the Microsoft 365, SharePoint Online, and then now considering also hands-on on Microsoft 365 administration. PowerShell is my favorite topic. Microsoft Team is my favorite topic. SharePoint governance, Teams governance in Power Platform, mostly working on the Power Automate side, and few sometime got a chance with Azure as well. So I'm almost have most of the certification till 2013, and then few certifications of Office 365, Azure Fundamental, Power Platform Fundamentals. So covering the basic, making my base strong. So I love to speak. Basically, I love to SharePoint. I love to share the knowledge, but mostly I speak on SharePoint, Microsoft 365, Teams, Azure. I'm Scrub Foundation Professional Certified, workshop facilitator, lifetime coach as well. Those certification I have also, as well, not listed here. And got a chance to spoke within various events, including SharePoint Saturday Sweden, in India, Gurgaon, Pune, C Shop Corner, Pune chapter events, and Power Platform user groups, and and now I'm very thankful to these guys. They are giving me opportunity to speak on their platform. I am avid writer as well. Almost thousands of articles you will see on the knowledge-junction.in, where I almost mostly writes for articles write for Microsoft 365, Azure, and whatever the technical challenge in daily life I face as architect now, and the solution provided it. And now I'm very much keen interested in cybersecurity. There are a few things which I got to know happen with myself as well related to security, and that's why I thought, yeah, I must understand the security part, even though I'm working on Microsoft 365 or Azure, or even in my day-to-day life as well as a part of cybersecurity, and that's why I have topic. Uh, since couple of months I'm reading a lot on cyber securities. I starting looking through the exams certifications which is available in my domain in Microsoft 365 and in general as well. So that's about me. Let's start. Let's move ahead. What we are going to cover, what we are going to discuss basically. Few terms which before starting cyber security journey, why I choose this topic, because when I started there is a lots of confusion of the cyber security. It's a very vast field. You will notice, irrespective of whether you are working on Microsoft platform, Google platform, AWS platform, the security is a common thing, and which is very vast platform, even including your day-to-day life. If you are using the social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even our WhatsApp, which is always in our phone and continuously we are using. So for all things, this security is very important. We are now day by day more connecting with the digital platforms. We are using the Google page, we are using the various apps, we are playing the games, and almost 24 hours we are over the internet. And as we are more connected to the technology, as we are more heavily using the technology, the security comes into the picture. The more we need to take care of our things. Uh, Example, as we have the variables as well. Those are connected to our smartphones. Feed bands are connected to our smartphones. Our apps, Google Fit is there. All these kind of things. So security, uh, and this, if we take the example of the feed bands, this contains our what is the heart rate going on, what is the blood pressure going on, my first name, last name, my email address. All those things are connected to the respective variables, for example, feedband and the respective mobile apps, and we are connected through over the internet. So, and these, then once we are in, this data is like uh, more uh, more available to outside as well, and can be used. One of the example this to get to store this personal information is identity theft, the concept we call it as. So can be used to get our personal data, to sell it out our personal data, to use for wrong purposes, this our personal data. And that's why this is more important nowadays become. So we'll discuss that, some general terms before starting we should aware about those. Then we'll discuss what is security. As we are continuously discussing, why should everybody understand cyber security? Now I just give example of the feed bands and how those are can be a vulnerable if the proper security is not in place, if proper things are not get handled. Then I'm here also discussing as a mitigation activity. See, when I was when I'm doing research or something, we found that what is the best device or what is the device which don't have the security threat. So I found an example that take your laptop, bury in a few meters into the ground, make it shut down. So it's shut down, so no connection to the internet, and that laptop is now the 100% secure. Okay, so no no other device is 100% secure if we are over the internet, and that's why I'm sharing here some mitigation. So what we have in our hand, we need to be a properly have the uh, whatever the softwares or the applications which are strong enough to defend the attack, we can say, or to defend the security. And then second thing, the mitigation plan. If some breach happen, if our device get hacked or something wrong happen, then we must have the mitigation plan in a place. Okay, so that I'm going to share here the personal security checklist, at least few points that in our day-to-day life, those should be get properly taken care. And then if I'm working in an organization, big organization, medium size, any size of organization, what should be the organization security checklist? One of the best example or to start the security is multi-factor authentication or two-way authentication is in a place. So these kind of security checklist we are going to discuss. And then something related to here, not in agenda, but I'm also going to discuss what are the certifications available for the cyber security. Okay, what kind of jobs are available for the cyber security. So let's move ahead. I'll just change the bit agenda here before going to some general term. Uh, okay, why should everybody understand cyber security? I'll need to present some statistics here. If you see on my screen, recently Microsoft announced that company observes 1,287 password attacks per second. Imagine this, the most ever. See, 1,000+ password attacks per second. This is announced by the Microsoft recently. If you Google it out, you will find. In one news, I read that 5 billion SMS phishing attempts are made annually. See these numbers. See these statistics. This is resulted in an estimated loss of around 15,000 crore. Okay. See the numbers. One of the news I was reading in 4th May last month, every 7 minutes a cyber crime is reported in Australia in 2021 and 2022. Okay, so alone 16,000 cyber crimes were reported in Australia, 13% increase in year this year. See this, use of heavy digital information. We are sharing digital information very heavily. We are using Google Pay, we are using WhatsApp, we are using on social medias, in our phones, tablets, laptops. Calling scam. It is the this number is not, but this number is also very huge. In daily basis, normal person receive at least minimum 2 to 3 scaling calling scams, the spams calls we say. Okay, so what this statistic says, so, and this is very less statistic, this list is huge out. I put here only the 4 or 5 points, but this list is increasing day by day. So this gives me the importance of everybody should at least aware about the cyber security, even in the normal person who is not a part of IT. Okay. Then there is again different things as well, which are resulting more increasing in the cyber crimes. So these statistics tells me why the security field, cyber security field is very important to understand. Everybody should understand. When we will discuss the personal checklist, we'll get an idea why it is very important, or at least few my pointers what I should do. Okay. So let's move to the ahead. Next topic we'll discuss. Yeah. Before that, I will like to one more point to highlight. The demand for cybersecurity professionals is growing very heavily. It's a huge demand. There is a very, um, I meant to say, the professionals which are in the cyber security. If you see on my screen, cybersecurity professionals in high demand despite high hiring freeze. Even though there is like we are saying that some companies are getting laying off, or no new job opportunities is coming or something, but the demand for cybersecurity guys or the security personals, it is increasing huge. So nearly 40% in the last 2 years is the increase in demand. So you could see here, and depending on the experience level and skill set, packages range from almost 5 lakhs to the 42 lakhs of the top talent. So those are the very good package system as well. And that's why I'm having this session, that at least we should understand the cybersecurity field. It's a what's for example, its requirements in the forensic labs, in the defense systems, the ethical hacker, these kind of vast areas in this as well. The cybersecurity professors. So we could choose the feature or the topic of the cybersecurity in which we need uh, to go and learn it. Okay, and this what I think this is very necessary to provide the educations, to provide the awareness, uh, to spread the knowledge, to share the knowledge related to the cybersecurity, so that we have more security professionals, ethical hackers, and we could make secure ourselves, our colleagues, and even our country as well. Okay. Now, before exactly starting cybersecurity, see, also one more point here I would like to highlight is this area is very vast. So I'm giving here the pointers only. Because as I am reading more articles, I'm finding uh, new things each time. I'm finding different things in different articles. In if I'm having some ebooks or following some security guys, so it's coming new things and different things. So this area is very vast, as I am telling repetitively. So here I'm giving the pointers so that at least we could have the plan to proceed further rather than more confusion. Okay. So there are the few terms which we must understand before starting our cybersecurity journey. So what kind of terms like cyber attack? So basically cyber attack is to get the illegal access to any digital device and to damage it. Either to damage it, to block the users on that system, and to ask the money. So these are get different terms, but this is cyber attack is like trying to get the illegal access to any digital device and to damage it. And this the victim of cyber attack can be anything, like the individuals, companies, government offices, anything. So what the purpose of cyber attacks is to get us to stole the important information, to stop any important process from the device so that device can be damaged, expose the important information publicly, so to a huge loss to any company or something, or to get asked the revenue from the individuals or the organizations, or to leak the government data, to stole the government data, to know the policies. So this is the kind of cyber attacks. And what are the systems? The cyber attacker, the the person who attacks, call it as a attacker. So it can be like and can use people, phones, applications, messages, computers, anything as a his or her platform to have a cyber attack. Now, what are the some common examples of cyber attacks? Brute force attacks, where the password attack, where attacker hackers repeated attempt or crack the password of the system. So that is a brute force attack. Okay. One of the way to avoid this attack is very heavily strong password and hard password. Keep updating our password continuously. This we will also discuss in our personal checklist, but then we can easily stop this attack as well, or mitigate keeping our passwords of the important email addresses or the devices or the systems. Keep updating them in a month or once in a twice. Okay, keep updating our passwords. This is also said, this is in one example I also read that uh, this also I'm covering in personal checklist, but just to highlight here, have a password, different password for if you have a bank account related to the email addresses, use the different password for them, and like keep it a simple mobile where only the messages gets and there is no smartphones or apps, so that app can't read your messages, because sometime we need to give the permission to read the messages to the apps. And if our messages contains the critical information like the bank details or credit and debit details, then they might read the application. Sorry, they might read the messages, and this is again a security risk. Okay, so keep the like if my phone is I'm using for my bank or something, keep it very like no smartphones or very authenticated apps are deployed or installed there. Okay. Then there is some attack kind of denial of services and distributed denial of services. So basically, denial of services is we are prevent compromising the availability of our system. We don't allow attacker don't allow to use your system. And in even distributed, I'm going to discuss this these two in the next slide as well. So distributed denial of service, man in middle, man in the mobile, email attacks. Man in the middle example is where two platforms are communicating and some third person gets and break that communication or get involved into that communication. So that is a man in the middle system. And then email attacks. So this is the cyber attack term related to it. Let's move ahead. Here I am just explaining denial of services, how prevents other from accessing system, compromising the availability of the system. What is this availability, compromising availability? That's I'm going to discuss three cyber threats basically: confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data. But that we'll discuss in next slide. Then distributed denial of service is like multiple systems attacks a single server, single host, and those are generally by botnet. Then what is botnet? Botnet is again a software which is remotely, it's a type of malleable and remotely control malicious software to control the use amount of systems and from where I attack on the server. So basically these are this is like DOS and DDoS kind of thing. Then who is a cyber criminal or attacker? The person or anyone who performs the attack. Okay, so cyber criminal can be a single person, group of people, or even the organizations or some entities kind of thing, any kind of thing. Then there are what types of attackers there? Amateurs. These are the script kiddies. The amateur means script kiddies means these are the attackers who don't have a knowledge, depth knowledge of the technology, but they use the available tools to attack the system. So these are immature kind of kiddies. We call it as a script kiddies or something. Then the second types of attackers are like a hackers. Hackers are the who hacks our system. But there are different types of hackers are available. White hat hacker, gray gray hat hacker, black hat hacker. So what kind of difference in between these kind of hackers? White hat hackers are like the ethical hackers, the mostly the organizations, government entities uh, who hires these guys to perform their system testing. To they allows us to hack their system to find if there is vulnerabilities or breaches are there in their system ethically. Okay, so these are explicitly we are allowing it ethical. These we call it as a ethical hacker. So basically, one or in organization checklist, one of the best practices organizations should have the team of ethical hackers. Okay, so that they will always check their organization systems and make sure that illegal hackers can't break their system. Then there is a gray hat hacker. I'll come back to gray hat hacker, but I'll discuss first the black hat hacker. Black hat hacker is the hack their system capabilities, exploit vulnerabilities for personal and financial gain. So these are the basically the hackers who try to exploit our system, who try to disturb our system, and then have some amount or some personal gain again publicly spread the information or my data details publicly. So these kind of hackers. black hat hackers. Gray hat hackers sits in between these two. They are like for good purpose or bad purpose as well. So these kind of hackers, but generally we have ethical hackers and the black hat hackers. Then there is one concept called organized hackers. Organized hackers is like where individual hacker can't perform any action or something, or he can't perform action which he want to perform. Then some group of hackers of different knowledge joins together. So that kind of, and then they perform that activity. So these kind of hackers, we call it as a organizational hackers. Okay. So these are the cyber criminal or attackers. Then what are the attack vectors? Attack vectors basically the entry point from where the attack can be happen. For example, email system, right? Email accounts. I will send some illegal link, some link to my email. When I'll click, so here the attack vector becomes the email. Then the browsers, in browser I'll have something, social media accounts, removable devices like pen drives, wearables, that kind of thing. Wireless network. How to avoid email attack vector? Keep our antiviruses updated, right? Make sure we are not clicking on unknown links. While I like to share recently incident happened last year that in my Facebook account or Facebook Messenger some link is coming. Some my friend has shared some link and saying that they sharing some YouTube link and saying that, oh, are you in this video? And then some surprising icons. So what generally I should do, or what generally I can do? Okay, this is a message from my friend and he is sharing some YouTube link and he is surprising that I am in that video. So I will go and click that. And then that will be a like a illegal link, unknown link, and I easily get trapped into the hacking. Okay, so these kind of things happen. So here we could affect the we could avoid this kind of hacking by just simply having our knowledge that whether I should thinking whether I should click or not click unknown links, download or not download attachments, those we are unknown, or at least I'll confirm from whom I got a link on a call or something that why you share this link or what is in this link. Okay. Then the security breaches. So these are terms like security breach, any attack which get unauthorized access to my device, applications or network. Those are comes in the following form like social engineering, browser attacks. Social engineering attacks means the practice of manipulating human beings to gain access to data to my computer system. It's kind of phishing. Then browser attacks is I'm hitting the same disguising basically. Same phishing means disguising basically. Then the browser attacks, the same URL looks like only single spelling mistake or something minor thing and I didn't get notice and I click that link. Okay, assuming that is my link. So that is kind of browser attacks or kind of thing. So these are the security breaches. This is the most famous malware, most famous way we could say, or the till the time happen for the attackers for the security breaches or something. This is nothing but a software which cyber criminals use to affect our system. Now there are different types of malware programs are basically. Those are who propagate themselves, for example viruses, trojans, worms, and those are the payload like performed to the actions performed by the softwares on the system. For example, ransomware, spyware, backdoor, botnet. These kind of the type of the payload malware. Those are on our system and perform some access. Perform some activities on our access. And viruses, worms, trojan, these are viruses like are attached to the some file and they keep propagating. Attached to second file, attached to third file. If I am connected to any device or any network, then they spread over the network as well. Okay, so viruses is like nothing but a malicious software. Those propagate themselves, they spreads to other devices as well. Trojan. Now, what is the difference between viruses and the Trojan? Trojan basically disguised as a legitimate software. That means I am the disguise means I am aware that, okay, I know that this software is a authenticated software, legitimate software, true software, and I get install it, but Trojan is like, they appears as these are the authenticated software, but not. Okay, so these kind of software, what we do, we are assuming those are good software, those are very like software, we install them, and then Trojan get uploaded into our system. Okay, so and they can cause, now once the Trojan softwares on your system, they are collect our data, can damage our system. So basically practice is, don't uninstall software which we don't know. Make sure we are downloading software from the authenticated sites, okay, and installing on. I saw that on Google Play or on, sorry, on WhatsApp, we have the options like allow installing the software or something. Keep that option off, and make sure every time we get the question that whether we want to go ahead install or not install, that kind of settings. Okay, so these so that we could avoid the Trojans to our devices. Ransomware is a payload kind of malware, a software which basically hack our system by encrypting. They try to lock the users on our system. So they encrypt the boot devices of our mostly they encrypt the boot devices of our system and then demand money to decrypt or something. But we don't have any kind of guarantee after we are giving the money or ransom amount or ransom, we will get our data, we will get our system, we will get users unlocked back. So this is a very tricky kind of thing. They could destroy our whole system as well. Then there is another kind of malware program, spyware. What is this spyware? A program that secretly records what user does. Cyber criminals can use of this information. How they secretly record? Through, one of the example is through our web browser. They try to steal our cookies on our system. So, and these are hidden from our system. And they try to get the credit card and debit card, whatever the action, if we are online payments doing and something, that kind of thing. A botnet. Botnet is basically a remotely controlled softwares. So I am remotely controlling the softwares, and the uh, owner of the device don't know the software is botnet. Sometimes we call them as a zombie as well, and they are remotely controlled by hackers. So poor security. Even this is not only for our desktop or laptop, but web cameras are get hacked. Modem or Wi-Fi router, if there is a very big security based on the modem or Wi-Fi router, this can be easily bypassed, and cyber criminals install malware or software there and controls these devices. Basically, software which allows us to controlling our devices remotely to the hackers. So these kind of and basically these are using the distributed denial of service kind of attack system from remotely with the help of botnet. I am hacking the server. I am hacking the web cameras of the companies or organizations or societies, that kind of thing. Let's move ahead. So if you want to know whether your system, your device is affected by malware or not, there are some kind of symptoms. Automatically emails are sent from your accounts. CPU uses very heavily, some in between. Mobiles devices get slowdowns, crashes in between. Web browsing speed gets slowdowns. File operations are getting happening automatically, like modified or deleting. So these are very few. This list is again keep increasing, but these are very few symptoms through which at least we should have and smell of malware. Okay, we should have like our system is getting affected at least by kind of a software. Then what is the threat landscape? Threat landscape is an entry point for cyber attacks to perform attack. For example, emails, mobiles, computers, peoples, infrastructure, cloud services, social media account, that kind of things. What is the vulnerabilities? Vulnerabilities are like any kind of software hardware defect. There are two kinds of vulnerabilities. My software is defected, error in my OS or in my application, in any software, like race condition or weakness in security practices or access control problem, buffer overflow, RAM overflow, that kind of hardware vulnerability is like hardware design flaws or something. Like for example, sometimes my or I'm getting an issue like my battery is getting heated more. Okay, my screen is flicking in between. So these kind of flaws in the hardware, that kind of the vulnerabilities term is there. So with this term, now what is exactly mean by the cybersecurity? We understand the importance of cybersecurity. We have the statistics, how the cybersecurity is affecting our day-to-day life. So we understanding, so why we should aware about the cybersecurities. Now so what is the cybersecurity? This is nothing but the technologies, processes, programs to protect our devices, basically, to protect our data, to protect our network from the cyber attacks. We saw the term cyber attack, right? So basically it helps, cybersecurity helps to reduce the cyber attacks, to protect again my unauthorized access to my data, my network, my system, which allows us to achieve our CIA traits. Now, what is a CIA trait? CIA trait is my confidentiality, privacy, integrity, and availability. So if you see this triangle, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, if we discuss what is meant by confidentiality, whatever my data resides digitally or available, that is a very confidential. That means we have the only the authorized right person can see a right data. Right person can access right data. Only authorized personals can access my data. So data should be, but then there are ways. Some solutions are like I kept encrypting of the data, two-factor authentication in place so that nobody could easily hack my data. Then I have some policies in place. I have classified data based on the security of information or sensitive label like confidential, publicly available data, confidential data, internal data, the data which is used or the information which is used internally in my organization, in my company. Confidential data, only the confidential, the people confidential, right people could access that, and publicly available data can anybody access. So no issues there. So that kind of classification I have in place. Integrity. Integrity is assures that my data is accuracy. Integrity assures the accuracy of my data. When I'm transferring data from like in between the two systems, my data is integrated. Whatever I send data, the receiver will receive the same exact data. No, what we say, uh, no data must be altered. Here we need to be like middle in the man attack, right, where the data can be altered and updated and sent to the receiver. So when the source send the data has a different meaning, when receiver receives the data has a different meaning. Okay, so these kind of attacks we need to avoid. So what kind of like backup option must be available before sending the data so that we could check the integrity? Hashing is one of the technique which is used for the data transfer. Okay, availability. My data is available whenever I required. That's why if we see the cloud providers, most of the time they give the assurance of availability of 99.96% data is available, that kind of thing. So plan should be in place to quick make the data available in case some disaster happens, some ransomware kind of attacks happens. So we should have planned to recover our data, right? So that we no need to pay the money or something, or we no need to go as per the attacker's wish, right? So these are the security traits. So cyber security provides me to achieve my this kind of goal: confidentiality, CIA, integrity, availability. Okay. Now the most important topic which I am going to discuss here, this is not only for any organizations, but this is for everybody, every person on the land, right? What is this? What are these checklists? So let's start with social media. Nowadays, we are very heavily using the social media. International friends, WhatsApp calls, right? My family is available in another country or something, WhatsApp messages. We are very much active on the Facebooks, social media to share the photos, to share our joys, to share the details. LinkedIn, kind of for professionals to sharing the details. So these kind of the social medias which we are using, but we should be take care. Like whenever we use the Facebook or something, Facebook or WhatsApp, two-factor authentication must be enabled there. Okay, so one of the best practices lock our profile. Our profile is locked. Two-factor PIN password is set for WhatsApp if we are using it. Make sure that whenever we are done with our work with the social media, don't save the username and password for them. Always log in with username password. Once we are done, make sure we are logging out. Even though either from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, whatever the social media platform, WhatsApp we are using, make sure we are logging in. And we are not saving the username passwords. We are not allowing to save those. And next time again, we are logging with the username password with two-factor authentication. Okay. Mobile apps. We need to make sure nowadays we are very heavily using the Google Pay kind of applications. We need to make sure we have a very strong password for those kind of things, those kind of apps. Make sure we are following all the best practices. Make sure we have a long passwords, so to our devices or to our again some accounts, so that permutation combination for hackers won't work. Don't keep like our surnames, our names, our birth dates as a password, because those are the easily tracking password for the hackers. We are making our life easy, their life easy by doing these things. Make sure that different apps have different passwords. Don't use the same password for every app. Make sure that our permissions are set differently for different app. Like some app required to capture our file system to get the access of photos. Some apps required to get the control of messages to send the OTPs. So we need to have a proper understanding of our apps and what they are doing and what the permissions are set to the apps. Okay, make sure that unnecessary apps are not installed. Sometime for performing some quick activities, we install some app quickly. Make sure that we are uninstalling them. Here one point I will also still highlight: some apps we required not frequently, like twice or thrice in a month or something. So what I will do, say for example, I have a travel app, I need to book a travel, so I install app that time. Once I'm done, I keep uninstalling, I uninstall those apps. So I kept it try to be like those apps won't access my messages each time and won't promote the ads and all those things in between. Okay, so these kind of actions also we could these kind of tips also we could utilize, right?
Voice is not audible. Hello?
Hello. So these are the like app. These are the some guidelines for the social media mobile apps. Some few common. Hello, Gavaskar. Am I audible? Hello. Okay. So there are some common guidelines as well. Like we don't have same pattern of password for every application or our devices or something. Most important thing, we are changing our password in a month or two. Keep updating our password. Don't follow all the best practices, like don't use the previously used passwords and whatever the name, surname, whatever the things, don't use those. Making sure that we are not saving our passwords in a browser. Making sure that our family members, kids don't know the important passwords. We need to remember those in anyhow. And if not, then there is a lot, like most of the applications or the websites giving the forgot password option. Utilize that. Okay. Make sure that we are not sharing the OTPs to anybody, even those with our family members as well. Make sure that whatever the OTP messages we once use, we are deleting them from our devices, from our mobile devices. Don't keep the OTP messages in our devices. As I already discussed, for bank messages, try to use a normal phone, not a smartphone, so that applications, smart apps won't read our messages. Make sure that we are keeping internet off whenever we are not using it. So these are some kind of personal checklist shared in this my presentation. Go through it. Some of like keep the latest cyber security trend up to date ourselves, read the security related news so that we could understand what kind of attacks happens and we could prevent ourselves by getting the knowledge from them, by getting the experience from them. Make sure that our applications, devices, operating systems are up to date with the security patches or with the patches from respective software providers as well. Okay. Now these are some personal checklists which I think our in day-to-day life we must follow to avoid uh, the attacks on our devices for ourselves and to avoid the unnecessary things which happen with us. Then there are some checklists for organization as well. Make sure that multi-factor authentication is enabled for my all users of my company, my organization. Whenever mostly I'm working on Microsoft 365 or Azure, Microsoft provides me the multi-factor authentication feature for all of my users. So I'm making sure that I'm using that. There is a concept called security defaults in Microsoft 365. Even if, so make sure even I don't have conditional access policies or something with the extra licenses, I need to make sure in my organization for Azure, for Microsoft 365, security default features is enabled. Okay, so which will allow us to have a basic multi-factor authentication in place and some other security related features in place. We are performing, make sure that our employees, our users in my organizations have a training on timely basis, security related training. Okay, make sure that we have a team of ethical hackers. As we saw, there are three kind of hackers: ethical hackers, gray hackers, black hat hackers, white hat hackers, gray hat hackers, black hat hackers. So make sure that my organization have the ethical hacker team in place. Keep our ethical hacker cyber security team up to date with latest security trends, whatever is going in the security system. Okay. Microsoft also provide a very good feature having the block list of password. Make sure that we have block list updated password list is up to date. Add all the password test 123, test 456, all the usernames in that. Make sure that we have up to date that list so that these passwords can't be set by my employees, my users of my organization. Okay. Keep the employee background checks in place. Encrypt all sensitive data of my organization and backups as well. Use next generation routers and firewalls and other security appliances. This means keep up to date the security appliances. So now this is kind of few checkpoints, few checklists which we personally and my organization should must have follow irrespective of any size of organization. I'm skipping this slide. Again, the important topic we discussed that what is cyber security, why I should understand cyber security, everybody should understand. We also saw that the job trends, it's a way cyber security personnel are heavily in demand. But in what kind of jobs are available? There are a few jobs I have listed here, kind of job list. Like basically you could be a cybersecurity analyst, you could be a cybersecurity engineer, you could be a security consultant to the organizations, you are an information security manager. There are the different types comes like information security, network security, transport security, these kind of security. So you could have data security, you could have information slash data security manager, you could have information security analyst. Here I am giving the touch point. You could note it down and then dig it down where I fits. For example, here I mentioned that cyber security analyst who protects my computer system and networks of an organization. Then engineer who monitors what are the security measures and protect data and system from hackers and the cyber attackers kind of thing. Here cyber security developers, managers who manages my IT security division of organization or something. Chief information security officer. Forensic computer analyst. We look for the evidence for this is mostly used we required in the like stolen activities or tracking the tape, tracking the thieves or that kind of thing. Penetration tester, who is a highly security specialist, try to breach the computer and network security basically ethically. These are called a penetration tester. They are using various different up-to-date tools, security tools to try to breach the system, penetrate the system, so that they got to know whether hackers could hack this system or not. It's a kind of ethical hacking. Okay, so these kind of the career options are available. There is a ethical hacker kind of role as well. Various courses are also available. And in if I'm in now, say for example, kind of myself, I'm in the Microsoft 365 Azure working on SharePoint since like 15-18 years. What are the options for me? I'm senior person now, right? Or even a more senior who have the more experience than me. What kind of exposure? Azure security engineer, security analyst, cloud architects, cloud Azure security architects, cloud Azure security specialist. Here I'm noting for Azure Microsoft 365 because that was my area, but the same applies to Google and the AWS cloud as well, that kind of things. So these are the career, lots of career options are available. There is a huge demand for these kind of things which are available. And then one more thing before going to like what kind of career certifications basically I want to show you the available. I have noted some certifications or okay. Anyway, let's move ahead. Where to start the journey? There are few certificates available, certifications available. If I am working in specific domains, if, for example, Google Cloud or AWS Cloud or Microsoft 365 Azure Cloud, then they have their respective own security certifications. Like there is for Azure or for Microsoft 365, there is a SC 900, SC 300, SC 200. Azure Security Architect exams are there, so we could achieve these kind of certifications and show our skills and knowledge and then can apply the respective jobs as well. But if I'm starting as a fresher or something, then there is various good certification from CompTIA. So one of the basic and everybody is referring that certification is CompTIA plus CIA 602 certification. So they have their own syllabus and this exam is going to launch in the 2020 and going to retire in the next year, June 2024. So we have an opportunity to have our skill and to start our journey as a job which we saw as a cyber securities, like starting with analyst, engineers or architect specialist, that kind of thing. But then again, as we are discussing, this is huge area. So we need to understand few things here, which I would like to highlight. Understand this field very well. Give your time very well to study the basic things. Networking skills you will require to understand to start your journey, to understand those kind of skills very well. Cyber security is very vast. Understand its all branches well. As we saw forensic, management, analyst, developer, that kind of lots of courses available. First, again, I'm emphasizing on know your interest very well in advance. Okay. Follow some cyber security experts in social media on LinkedIn. Preferable, I'm following couple of cyber security experts and I'm getting an idea from there. Join the respective communities. There are lots of cyber securities communities available. Please join those. Attend the respective conference events. Try speaking on cyber security so that our knowledge will get uh, expanded, get advantage or discuss with the platform like this multi-cloud for you. They are providing a really very nice platform to speak. So have a speak, keep up to date yourself, learn, have a solid knowledge based foundation, must work within the bounds of, this is again one more important point, cyber security professionals need to work in the boundary of our regional laws. This is again an important point. And we need to use our skills ethically only. So what I need to start, if I'm a fresher, what I need to start to a cybersecurity journey, to career in cybersecurity, most important, understand basic concepts of networking, how the communication between two devices happens. What are the protocols? Communication happens based on the protocol. What are the types of protocols? TCP protocol, HTTP protocol, HTTPS protocols. Understand the firewalls, virtual private networks. So basically these network terms, understand these. What are the IP addresses? What are the virtual net mask? What are the subnet mask? Database security, understand the terms in encryption, cryptography. Have a mastery of one language which are used in the cyber security, mostly the Python, C, C++. Python is nowadays very preferable. Python is nowadays very preferable. So have a get have a get deep knowledge of these kind of languages. Have a knowledge of here. I didn't mention, but have a knowledge of Kali Linux as well. That is mostly used for the ethical hacking. Ethical hackers use the Kali Linux as well. And most important, start your writing, share your knowledge, discuss, follow the, as we already discussed, follow the cybersecurity professionals, do that. On LinkedIn, one my important recommendation is on LinkedIn, there is 100-day study plan is going on. So you could follow this study plan. You could post what you learn every day, even the simple term you learn, you could post it, and which will help you a lot. This is a bootcamp by uh, the Odinaka Udoizika. This is the team member over the LinkedIn. You could follow him as well. He is a cybersecurity expert. Try to have it. Okay. Build your own lab virtual machine in Azure, and you could use, or you could use on desktop and laptop, install the Kali Linux over in it. And yeah, here is the list of certification which we are trying to finding uh, finding in previously, like certified ethical hacker, CompTIA Security Plus, which is very famous certification as I still the time I studied and did research. Certified network defender, certified information system security professional, kind of these kind of few certifications you could note it down and start your journey. Okay, so yeah, understand these things before start. Here I have some few references basically related to the Microsoft certified. As I was saying, SC 900, Microsoft Security Compliance and Identity Fundamental Preparation. Microsoft Certified Azure Security Engineer Associate, Security Administrator Associate, Cyber Security Architect Expert. So if you are senior person, or if you are a Microsoft guy, or Azure or a Microsoft 365 developer administrator, you could go for this. Okay, these kind of certifications. Yeah, this is just I'm referring here. If you are Microsoft 365 SharePoint personals, you could have I have a book Microsoft 365 Powerful. handbook for administrators and beginners and for PowerShell guys. Okay, so as time ticking, it's already 1 minute delay. But we could take any questions you guys have or any point you want to highlight from your side which I miss or which is very important for our community respective to the security. Please share. We could have 5 minutes or 3-4 minutes.
Participants, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Hi, Prasham. It's Maheshwar here. I have a quick question. So, thanks for explaining about. It was an excellent session today. If you want to dig deep dive a little bit about, so everything comes under a separate topic. Is it ransomware, malware, or how to prevent the DDoS, DOS? All those things are under cyber security. Means like for initial level, we are aware. Am I right? We are into IT. We are aware what are the threats in cyber security. But what are the deeper topics actually for this cybersecurity?
Yeah, that's the point basically. So first important thing, Maheshwar, if you are a senior person, and as I discussed, if we are working for the Microsoft or for Google or for AWS, this kind of platform, then these have their own security certifications or
Yes.
expertise required. So, but yeah, and if we are transitioning ourselves as a security, like I am doing myself since last 3, 4, 5 months, so I understood. I started with basic security concepts, basic networking concepts, even though that was not my area, and now I'm preparing for the Microsoft 365 Security Administrator and the Azure Cyber Security Architect related to my technology.
Okay.
So yeah, so these are the deeper. Like when I say Azure Cyber Security Architect, then this is a very experienced person who knows the basics of security as well and the security in that my field like Azure and Microsoft 365, a deep knowledge of
So
security.
yeah, uh, I'm just curious to know the deeper topics might be they will explain how to prevent the attacks. Correct? Like that's what the basic responsibility of a cybersecurity engineer. Am I right?
Yes, how to prevent the attack? That was the first thing. It's very. I was reading some articles or blogs, and I got to know that it's impossible to prevent the attack. Sometimes those kind of happens. But then once it happen, how disaster and recovery, how quickly we are recovering from it, without
Okay.
losing our data, without losing our stake, without losing money or without losing name and fame of my organization, kind of thing. Uh, here, here one more point I would like highlight. This topic is very deep and very heavily used. I'm not sure what I am going to discuss, miss, that is correct or not, but in defense system as well,
Okay. Okay.
or at my regional
Yeah,
or country level.
cryptography and all. It is in the defense system actually. Whatever you
Yeah,
told cryptography.
yeah.
So that
So
is
that
the
is
difference.
very vast here, vast area and very demanding area basically.
Yes.
So yeah, even I was seeing some statistic daily in our country only. Like there are 3 to 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs have a less jobs, and
Okay.
these security guys are demanding very heavily. So and that's why I am very keen, not only for job or earning money as well, but then it is a kind of like we are doing something good ethically.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that kind of satisfaction is also
So,
there.
sorry to stop you in middle, but you explained about Azure. In AWS, we know this like guard duty, WAF, web application firewall, and
Okay.
AWS inspector. All these things, these are all comes as a separate service. Am I right? Like Azure also, it will come as a separate service.
Yes, in Azure, there are like services like keyword service, which allows us to securely store the username and passwords or my application's IDs and the secret keys.
Okay.
That kind of service is there. Then there are tools which Microsoft provides, like Microsoft 365 Defender, which gives me list of action items which I should, like for example, if multi-factor authentication is not enabled, then it reduces my score. It gives me the security posture of my organization. That kind of tool is there available. So Azure and Microsoft 365 also have these kind of things in place.
Right. Thanks, Prasham. Well explained. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Any other question? Any other point? Please feel to discuss. You could email me later as well. This is vast topic. If we are if we need to move ahead in this topic, we keep discussing. So we'll aware to know about exams, preparations, best practices, and all those things. Any other
Participants,
question?
so participants, any more questions? So let me share the screen for the secret code. So participants, the secret code for downloading the certificate is SK92W6. SK92W6. So now let me explain how to download the certificate. Just you can go to www.fifthir.com. So now you can go to events. So you can find all the upcoming events over here. Introduction to cybersecurity, Alibaba Cloud EMR, Azure Service for Content and Media Management. So these are the few upcoming events which you can see. Now you can click view events. So now you can register as a guest or you can log in for this event. So now I am registering as a guest. Yeah. Yeah. Now I will be providing my name over here. Yeah. It's my email. Then my phone number. Yes, my organization. Now I'm going to click register. Okay. Now some issue is there.
Gavaskar, if you go to attend event, it is coming fine.
Yeah. Log in for this event.
Login for this event.
Yeah. Now you can register for this. So this is working fine. Yeah. So in my case, no, it is coming as download certificate. Since I had downloaded the certificate previously, so what you can do is you will get a you will get like this, no, claim certificate link will be there. Just you click the link, and you have to provide the secret code, which is already shared in the chart, and you can download the certificate. So that's the thing. So I hope you may download the certificates and you can share the certificate in LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So that's all. That's all for the day. Uh, Once again, we like to thank Prasham Sabadra for giving a wonderful session. I hope that it may be a eye-opener session for all the participants. I got how to secure your Facebook and WhatsApp or some your account by using multi-factor authentication, and how the organization can secure the account. Moreover, we got a clear insight on how to learn cybersecurity and what are the scope available for cybersecurity and what are the job opportunities available for the cybersecurity field. So once again, on behalf of Multicloud for you, I'd like to thank Prasham Sabadra for providing a wonderful session to our audience. Thank you, Prasham Sabadra.